Hey guys, welcome to this episode. For those that don't know me, my name is Matt Cotty, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker and the founder of Restored Minds and the creator of the AAA Response. And in this episode, I'm going to tie up our series on recovery. And I just have kind of a shorter message today, but it's pretty straightforward, and it's really just this idea of not doing recovery alone. And this is something where I want to kind of talk about more. It's more personality traits that again I struggle with, or that I experience, and things that have prevented or held me back on my own recovery, or definitely slowed the process down, or I should say extended the process longer than it needed to be. And one of those was this idea of being prideful and not not embracing help and support. And many of us out there, especially if you have more of um, character or personality traits that often go with things like OCD and anxiety and high levels of stress. A lot of times where the overachieving, high performing, hyper responsible, you know, very creative, very do-gooders, trying to, walk these lines of, perfection. And these things are the very same things that obviously cause a lot of the problems. And they're the very same things that prevent us from getting support and help, or wanting to get support and help, right? Thinking this idea of like, I can handle this myself. I got it, I can handle it. Um, And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, again, like my overall message, right? Again and again, is taking responsibility for your health and taking responsibility by eliminating the compulsive behaviors. Sorry, plane going over right now. But eliminating the compulsive behaviors and the safety behaviors that we're engaging in that are keeping us in these loops. So 100%, like to a degree, yes, I believe in the idea of taking personal responsibility. I believe in the idea of noticing what you're doing that's keeping yourself in these loops, and working to improve your own mental health and not putting the responsibility on anyone else. Yes, let me start and say yes, absolutely, 100%. That said, this is not a journey for the lone wolf. And this is a problem that I have, like I'll just be super transparent, like I have for most of my life, I've had this kind of like lone wolf approach. And what I've realized more and more is that when you have support and you have guidance from people that have gone through things that you're going through, that have navigated storms that you're experiencing, when you can receive guidance from people, what it does is that it saves you the most valuable commodity you have, which is your time. Investing in guidance, investing in support is the best thing you could do for yourself on this journey. Because what it does is it takes someone else who's gone through this already and takes everything that they've learned, and they're able to consolidate that in a very short amount of time and teach you that. Now, yeah, sure, there's things like books that can help. That's a consolidation of information which you can consume in a relatively short period and go through it. But there's something about like talking to someone and having some kind of support of other people that's just going to make you really understand that you're not alone. Because one of the scariest and hardest parts is this feeling of feeling alone on this journey of recovery. And, for a long time, when you don't know what you're experiencing, it can be scary to reach out for help because you don't know how people are going to react to it, especially, things like tell someone you're wrestling with like mental health. It's, some people just aren't going to respond well to that. They're going to judge you. They're going, like, I mean, it's getting less and less prevalent, but I mean, you do have to be cautious, I would say, about who you decide to share this with. And that's why, like, if you're wrestling with OCD, it's like you make sure you go to someone who understands OCD, right, and anxiety, right? You make sure that someone actually is, not someone who just says it on their website, right? Like, oh yeah, if a counselor says they treat, like, and they just have this huge list of disorders, probably not the person for you. Okay. Just in the same way, if you were going to have a knee surgery, right, and this doctor's like, yeah, I do every surgery. Okay, I'm sure that doctor might have some experience with every kind of surgery, but would you rather go to someone who's like, I only do knee surgeries? Same kind of thing here, right? It's like, and this is why, like, generic counseling has been, most people have a lot of most people have experienced a lot of frustration, a lot of additional pain by going to counselors and therapists that didn't really know how to help them, and then they mistakenly think that counseling and therapy or coaching or whatever it is not going to work for them based off their one experience or two experiences with counselors who just simply didn't understand the issue at hand. And when you can get guidance from someone, though, realizing that when they're able to consolidate their experience and give you guidance on that, the time that is going to save you on this journey is immense. So it's like, one of the big things that I remember happened on my journey was, like, the first time I met someone who, because I obviously got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna get help, and I had talked to 5 different counselors, and none of whom even helped me and could help tell me I was dealing with OCD at the time, right? And so they just kept talking to me and reassuring me, and I was getting worse. And it wasn't until I met someone that they were talking about their experience with OCD, and I had saw them talk, and they were like, oh yeah, no, I'm better now. And it was like, okay, they got better, I can get better. I need to figure out what they did, and started down that path of, like, looking at people who had what I was experiencing, or who were experiencing something similar to what I was experiencing, and had gotten the result that I want to get. And I started getting guidance from that, and more importantly, I started getting support from people that had gone through this process too. Because most of the support that I got was group support. It was just what I could afford as I was going on this journey. So it was like the majority of guidance and support was just in a group setting. And but there was something about talking to people who were further down the road than me, that it was like, okay, yeah, like, and they could affirm, oh yeah, dude, I've been exactly where you are. This is what's going to happen. Boom. And just that feeling of not having to carry this burden alone, having this feeling of saying, hey, look, like, like, I could talk to someone about, like, what was really going on, or if I was having a hard week, someone who actually would understand what I was saying because they had been through hard weeks like I was going through. That that was everything on my journey. It's like, I mean, yes, I still had to do the work. Absolutely. There was no one out there that got me better, just like no one is going to get you better. There's no, I never went to like a magical healer. In fact, everyone I ever work with, I always tell them the same thing. It's like, look, I'm not going to heal you, right? Like, my job is to teach you how to be your own coach, your own healer, your own therapist, whatever you want to call it, right? Because you need to be able to handle things as they come up. And so when you get triggered, it's like you need to be able to put the right tools into place. But there's an element of getting the right guidance and the right support during that time of your life. And then, yes, of course, the idea is eventually for you to go and live your life, right? Another thing I tell people all the time is like, hey, dude, there's at a certain point of our journey, it's like, I never want to see you again, right? Because then we always laugh when I say that. It's like, of course, I want long-standing, good relationships with clients, but again, I don't, like, I at some point, that relationship needs to end, because I want them to just go and live their life, just like I'm just living my life, right? And that needs to be, and anyone that you're seeking out support should have that goal, right? That, like, this isn't meant to be a lifelong, like, you're going to keep going to this person just like if you went to an actual physical doctor, like a doctor who specialized in physical thing, and the doctor was like, I'm just going to see you every week for ever. You'd be like, no thanks, right? It's because that's just not how it's designed. And so, especially with on this recovery process of OCD and anxiety, going to someone who really understands this and getting guidance and support from them and from people going through this and that have been through this will really help you on this journey. And so, at Restored Minds, we have various options for that. We have our groups that again, so many people have shared, been super helpful for them on their journey. We have one-on-one. We also have just digital trainings, live Q&As, things like that can really help you on this journey. So if it's something that you're looking for, please check out Restored Minds. And it's something that we are here to support you if you're going through this. And it's not something that you should go out alone. And again, or wherever you look to get support, the point I would really, really want to emphasize from this is get support. Have some type of support on this journey. Don't go the lone wolf route, because it will save you time, which is the most precious thing that you have. And it will also help you develop the confidence and resilience during those tough periods. So with that said, that's going to tie up our series on recovery, guys. I hope it was helpful. We have, again, resources down in the notes below for you. We have resources over at restoredminds.com for you. So please check those out. And also, if you, again, could please help us out by liking, subscribing, leaving comments, leaving questions or ideas for future episodes below, as well as leaving us reviews on iTunes to help the show, we would, again, really appreciate it. So wishing you guys a wonderful week, as always, and looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. Take care. Thank you so much for watching that video. And so if you're struggling with OCD and anxiety, I just wanted to let you know that we have a free training for you over at Restored Minds, where you can start learning how to use our AAA response to really break out of that loop and ultimately take back control of your life. And all you need to do to access is just click the little link below, and you'll be taken to a page where you can register today. Thank you so much.